why do we play video games? And for everyone who just went into the comments and typed, "'cause they're fun," this slow clap is for you. Because fun is only the beginning. Why are they fun? Why are we compelled to do fun things? And what do the games we play say about us as people? Those answers can be extremely personal, which means I have a lot to cover today. So without further ado, let's just...
One correction. We have a lot to cover.
Hark, is that a squeaky-voiced Goomba I hear on the horizon?
The reason a gamer games clearly varies as you travel between cultures, and who better to talk about that than a certain geographically minded Goomba?
If this is our big 1 million subscriber collaboration, I suppose I should join in too then, huh?
Ronnie? Is that you? Where have you been, buddy? I thought the mercury toothpaste or bottle-nosed dolphins had finally gotten to you.
Nope, just the hours of editing these episodes.
They certainly do take a long time. Thanks for doing that, by the way. As you can see by the numbers, the time certainly hasn't been wasted. Though I think we can all agree that we miss your unique take on gaming and constant self-deprecation.
Well, at least we don't have to put up with your outdated rage faces anymore.
Hey, at least I have actual animation and not some jerky stop motion.
Ronald Chestnut, please, let's try to remain positive. This is a celebration after all. And besides, Ronnie, if you really wanted to provoke the Goomba, you'd clearly mention his wife's well-endowed avatar. I mean, Goombas just shouldn't have boobs, dude.
You go ahead and keep talking in the hand I don't have.
GG. Way to take the high road. Anyway, why do we play games? As I mentioned already, yes, clearly there is some fun to be had guiding a sociopath through an elaborately staged kidnapping or performing poorly named aerial maneuvers. But we have to ask ourselves what needs video games fulfill in our lives that make us want to play them. In the immortal words of Dr. Phil, people do what works. If our needs weren't being taken care of by video games, we wouldn't play them. According to Scott Rigby, gaming researcher and author of the book Glued to Games, video games help us satisfy 3 core needs in our lives: competence, autonomy, and relatedness.
That spells car. Just so you know. Well, it does.
Excellent contribution there, Ronald. In short, CAR is like a significantly lamer version of the Triforce. The first piece is competence. This is the feeling of mastery. It's the sense that you're growing, learning, and progressing. Completionists and achievement hunters, this one's for you. Autonomy, meanwhile, is just that. The sense that you have control over your actions, and, to a large extent, the world around you. People drawn to autonomy-oriented games like uninhibited choices, choosing their own adventure rather than being forced down a set path of experiences, the Skyrims and WoWs of the world. And finally, relatedness, the need to feel like we matter to others and that we're making a contribution to society. Unsurprisingly, these are most exemplified by the multiplayer games. The games we're drawn to, the games we find most fun are those that best fit our individual needs. For example, I'm drawn to platformers. Mario, Sonic, Mega Man. Platformers appeal most to those who seek that first Triforce piece, competence or mastery. The games I'm drawn to are the ones I'm able to pick up and quickly make progress through, finishing levels, beating bosses, watching my character gain more powers quickly, and seeing myself able to handle increasingly difficult puzzles. The more I play, the more competent I feel.
That would make me relatedness, since so much of my play revolves around engaging with other people. Whether it's playing Left 4 Dead with the Gecko Ninja or Borderlands with my lovely Aki, gaming for me is a social experience shared best by friends.
And I'll take autonomy because that's what's left. You see, it's funny because it's autonomy, but I'm taking it because I have no choice. In all seriousness though, choice in and of itself isn't quite enough to capture a player's interest. The choice a player is given also has to feel meaningful. The player needs to feel as if they have control over their actions and their actions impact the virtual world around them. So say you have a poorly designed fighting game where each character has 45 different moves, but only 1 or 2 of those moves is actually useful. It doesn't matter that you have tons of moves to choose from because you're only ever going to use the 2 good ones. Even though you're given tons of options, there's not much of a choice to make. Also notice that sometimes it doesn't matter if the player is given a choice or not, or if the choices actually had an impact or not. What matters is if the player feels like they were given a choice, or if their choice felt like it mattered. Mass Effect uses carefully crafted dialogue trees to achieve this illusion. This game constantly has the player making choices about what to say or do in certain situations, and some of these choices feel incredibly meaningful to the player, but a lot of the time, behind the scenes, it didn't actually matter which dialogue option the player chose. All three of them would yield the exact same result. The player doesn't know that though. It legitimately felt like the player made a good or bad judgment call. Whether or not it actually affected the narrative doesn't matter. What matters is if the player feels like their choice affected the narrative.
And there you have it. When our powers combine, lame Triforce complete.